Today on the American Truck Podcast. Just Cause 3 has been cancelled. Overwatch is getting competitive updates. Team Fortress 2 is copying Overwatch. And No Man's Sky has gone gold. Hello and welcome to the American Truck Podcast with Andrew C.
And Jefferson B. 28.
Upcoming Pokemon trainer.
And freelance gamer.
Why'd you say 28, Jeff?
That is the number of Pokemon I have caught in Pokemon Go.
Oh!
I am very proud.
No, that is my fucking gimmick. You don't steal my fucking gimmick. You stick with your own goddamn name.
You released your gimmick under the GPL. I am therefore allowed to use it.
Hey, so the release date for the next Fallout 4 DLC was released. So the Vault Tech Workshop DLC is going to come out July 26th.
And I think,
Alright,
I'm not sure, but I think the Fallout Shelter for the PC
is out already.
Is it already?
By the time you see this, it will already be out. Yep.
Okay.
Comes out Wednesday or Thursday, depending on region.
What's that gonna cost?
Oh, it's free. The Fallout Shelter is a free game. It was
awesome.
on the mobile phones only, and now it's coming to the PC.
That'll be quite nice,
So you'll be
actually.
able to play
extra and all that.
both.
Hooray! It's gonna take half a month from now to release Workshop DLC.
Something's got to tide you over.
No, that's not what
No, which
That's
means
okay.
that the last DLC comes out in August, and then the DLCs are over for this game.
And that's it.
About
That's all she wrote.
Yay! We got 2
maps.
maps. We got 2 maps.
Yep. So hey, speaking about maps and mods, well, remember we talked about the Just Cause 3 multiplayer mod?
A while ago, but yeah.
Well, we also talked about it last week. There was some promising results with it last week, and well, unfortunately for those promising results, the whole project's canceled now.
Wow.
Yep.
That happened fast.
Yeah, the main developer of Just Cause 2 multiplayer is the same one that was leading the development for Just Cause 3, and the head developer just got hired by Avalanche Studios, which is the company who makes that game.
Smart.
He does not have time to work for them and to work on this project, nor does his other people who work for him have time to take over, and so it's just ending. Yep.
I smell a conspiracy afoot.
Oh,
It's just
undoubtedly. Now, there is another team that is working on a Just Cause 3 multiplayer mod, and it's very possible that they may release theirs at some point. Or they may also have their lead developer hired by Avalanche Studios and cancel their project.
I mean, it's better than what Blizzard did.
Yeah, kinda.
But this was our discussion, was why doesn't Blizzard just hire the
No, I
individuals of that
agree,
team?
but there's a difference in the way that this is done. I mean, if they're actually going out and hiring the main dev, the only person who can work on it, at least in his time, versus other people who don't have the time to actually put towards it, then they're more just killing the project by hiring one person and not necessarily hiring that person to continue their work.
Right.
Well, we don't know what he's been tasked to do.
No, and that's true. But at the same time, I don't know. To me, it would be that would be a kind of similar to Grand Theft Auto San Andreas multiplayer and some of those guys who got hired for the Grand Theft Auto 4 multiplayer way back in the day, which is great for them. But it was after they finished their mod, so they could at least have something available for the current audience.
Exactly.
This kind of feels like Just Cause 3 is never going to have a multiplayer, but we'll see it in 4 when we want to buy it.
Right, and it'll be native in 4.
Right, which is.
Not
I don't
what
want to say
people
it's
want.
worse than WoW, because with the WoW team, you have WoW, you have WoW. You have
Right.
WoW, you have WoW.
You just don't have
it's
old
an
WoW.
ongoing project, so it doesn't matter if they hired them now and had them build it. It wouldn't be something you would pay additional for, or at least I don't think you would.
I'm not sure.
Versus this is definitely, like 100%, if they were to put a multiplayer, it would be in the next one. They're not going to release an expansion that does it.
Right.
Well, I mean, they could, though.
They could, but
Yeah,
it's very
they won't.
unlikely.
Yeah.
It's unlikely. It would be out of character for Avalanche, but at the same time, I mean, they have somebody who understands the technology.
But it's not going to happen. So, speaking of things that are happening, though, NVIDIA GTX 1060 got dropped on us.
Now this is definitely more my speed.
We weren't really sure if there were going to be more of these graphics cards released, but sure enough, there are. There's more of them. This one's
Pascal series architecture, 980 power, a very competitive price.
Yeah, it's gonna be only $249 is the MSRP on this, and it's got 1280 CUDA cores. It's got 6 gigs of GDR5 RAM. Only runs at 120 watts. Now
I will say though, one thing that's very interesting about, you mentioned that it has 1280 CUDA cores. That is actually down from the 900 series graphics cards, which are up in about the 2000 or so range. NVIDIA's official response, and I just kind of want to go on record with that, is that because this is Pascal architecture, these are, like, we're talking about apples and oranges here. These are differently structured CUDA cores.
Right.
And so it should that's why they can still claim it has equivalent power to that of a 980.
Right.
Each core will put out more.
Exactly. Each core will run better.
Apple to the core.
Now, one thing that is interesting with this card, NVIDIA is not putting any SLI on it.
This is a very interesting move, just simply because NVIDIA, if you remember back at the keynote when they dropped the 1080 and 1070, they mentioned 3- and 4-way SLI developer keys and enthusiast keys. Unfortunately, that got very quickly pulled from the company, and they're no longer going to be distributing 3- and 4-way SLI support keys.
Right.
So now only 2-way SLI, which makes me wonder, A, why that's happening, and B, is it worth it? And then C, NVIDIA seriously is backing down on SLI, which is it's an interesting move for the company as a whole.
Yeah, I mean, they said that in this case, it didn't make a lot of sense for the lower end cards to have SLI because most people didn't use SLI on the lower end cards in the first place.
I could totally see it if somebody wanted to get like a 1070 or a 1080 and then just use a 1060 for PhysX, like just for particles, because you can do that.
Anymore? I feel like it really isn't a thing people buy a separate card for anymore.
There are certain games where it's a good thing. Space games, fluid simulation, things like that.
I did see also there's a lot of speculation that this is basically NVIDIA's match to the AMD cards that just came out.
The R9 2, I forget.
It's the R9 480. It's the R9, I think 480.
Right, that is a smaller card that is hopefully going to launch at about $200.
Yeah,
however,
exactly.
It's going to be a fanboy. Like I am an NVIDIA fan, so
exactly,
I'm biased,
and that's why I didn't
that
really
Pascal
write up
architecture
much.
Is so nice.
I didn't write up much stuff about it at all because I had originally, and then I changed my mind because I was like, we don't. Yeah. Only Kyle here likes AMD stuff.
Yep.
And they're pissing me off recently.
And Kyle's slowly.
Come to the green side.
Moving over to
I'm not coming to the green side. I'm gonna go to a neutral territory. There's got to be one.
There isn't one.
Yeah, there literally is none. But unless you go to integrated graphics, and that's.
But yeah, I think it's what's the one that I heard it was like AMD Polaris something.
Polaris is is their new architecture. Yes.
That's their new architecture.
That's what the R9 480 is based off of. In the same way that like the the 1000 series NVIDIA chips are based off of Pascal.
Correct.
It's a chip architecture.
So
I think it was the 480 crossfired, which is a good point to make. The R80X crossfire capable one is close to the 1080, but still below it. I guarantee you it's going to use more of your system.
See, I didn't
Plus
see anything
questions
that
of
showed
power
that.
draw and heat output. It's
the only thing I saw was that one of those cards is comparable to a 980.
Yeah, no, at least the
and it was like half the speed of a 1070.
Yeah, the benchmarks I found on this is the Titan X and the the difference between a Titan X and a 1080, literally dead in the middle is the Polaris 480X Crossfire.
Okay,
and that's Crossfire.
Still like,
is the price for clock cycle on the Crossfire going to make it a competitive middle ground?
We don't know.
Don't want to go all the way to 1080.
Right, that's the problem.
Do we have any rumors?
If they price it low like their other cards, maybe.
Because that's one thing that AMD is like. That's why AMD still exists, is because they're super cheap.
They're super affordable alternative to anybody who's trying to get in.
Exactly. They have a good repeatability on them.
I did see that the 480 isn't actually the high-end card. It's more the
really?
middle. It's the more middle card, and there is going to be higher-end cards coming out in the in this architecture.
They're going to do a 490 and a 470.
I do hope.
It's like the
As much
270s
as
all over again.
Well, what I did see is I know there's a 480, 470, and I think a 460, and then there's also supposed to be at some point they're going to release a higher-end one too. They just
Which
one
will be the
hasn't been
490
mentioned yet.
Yeah.
See,
So.
as much as I am an Nvidia fan, I do really hope that they have a successor to the R9 Nano, because that was a cool card. It was an integrated water-cooled graphics card. That was just, and it
It's an interesting concept, definitely.
I would love to see a successor to that.
It's definitely
and I would love to see
necessary.
something
I
that
mean,
doesn't
this card that they're releasing,
Mhm.
when compared to the 1070,
Yeah.
it ran about 13 degrees Celsius warmer.
Yeah.
Under load.
And I mean, the fact that you can get it from the manufacturer without having to do an aftermarket kit, which is always nerve-wracking.
Yeah.
Like that's just nice. That's a good safety net to have. Like, I would totally pay extra to have a 1060, like a little bit of an overclock, and then throw a water cooler block on it.
Right.
Easy. No complaints here if that were to happen.
Yeah. So things to look forward to. We'll see whether these prices stick, or if we end up with the prices for the third-party cards being a little higher, like every other set of these 10 series that has come out. Anyway, so there's some changes coming to Overwatch.
Yeah! Finally! Thank God! Balance!
Thanks to balance gods.
Balance.
Balance, no thanks.
I mean, it's a start. So apparently what they're doing is they're going to be putting in a limitation in competitive mode to only having one hero per team.
God.
One of each hero. One of each hero. Sorry,
There it is.
one of each hero.
You're good.
Wrong way of putting that.
Good.
Which
Keep going.
is an amazing point to be made, because something they're also removing is sudden death. Thank you God, because sudden death sucked. So for anyone who doesn't know, if you got into a tie and you were both at the end of the map, both teams made it, right? And it goes sudden death. A coin flips, you're either on attackers or defenders. And if you're on a map that had a capture point, the first point, all they had to do, or if it was a payload, all they had to do was get to the first point, and within 2 minutes. Now, that's a shorter time, it makes it a little difficult. But what people would do is they would choose characters that are extremely fast, extremely mobile, and all they have to do is wipe you once, and if they do that, you're done, you lose. So being on defense in that always sucked. And particularly on a lot of maps, what they would do is they would run all Winstons. So they would, and I thought this was hilarious the first time I saw it. Just 6 monkeys jumping onto a point, putting up shields, and electrocuting everybody on the point, so everyone has to get away from them, but can't damage them from the outside, and they capture the point and win. They're getting rid of the availability of both those things to ever happen again, and it's a beautiful thing.
Sounds good to me.
That's good. I am glad that this is not inhibiting the game, but is instead making the game more
but
fun.
Kyle, you can't do Torben Brothers anymore.
I know, Torben Brothers are dead, which is sad. But, I mean, the other thing that they're doing is they're also releasing a new character, Anna, who will be a support sniper. And it'll be interesting to see how she works in the game.
My new support.
Stupid. Her ult looks stupid broken, but... and then I think the other thing they're looking at doing is buffing Zenyatta and buffing Diva. And those will be 2 good buffs that are needed in the game. And we've been saying for a while they're needed. So I think that they're doing a really good job. I like that they're buffing characters mid-season, but any changes to gameplay, like multiple characters or the lack of sudden death existing, they're waiting until after the season ends to implement it into the next season, which I think is a good choice.
I would agree with that. That would make most sense to have it happen separately.
Mm-hmm. Definitely.
So speaking of competitive-based games
That are also shooters.
that are also shooters, and
that also have classes.
one
and
game may be loosely based on, the TF2 competitive mode is finally here. It's called Meet Your Match, and it's part of the Meet Your Match update. And it brings 6v6 multiplayer matchmaking things and abandonment penalties and whatnot, and it's basically Overwatch.
So are they
but
copying
TF2.
the game that copied them?
Yes. Yep.
Okay, making
quick-
sure.
Technically, no, because they've been talking about this competitive thing for a while
Right,
now.
Which
They're
has
going
never
with this
happened.
fixed format, and they're going with abandonment penalties,
I mean, if
which
it
is
works,
hilarious.
if it works, why you not use it?
Ah, yeah, if it's broke, don't fix it.
Now,
I agree.
curious, by show of hands, who here has played TF2 in the past month?
Me and
Yeah,
Mike
I
both
think-
did.
Yeah.
Oh, really?
Before I got
Before he
Overwatch.
got Overwatch.
Never mind then.
And
Nope.
now we have not played it since.
Hey, so speaking of playing things,
Playing things really quickly.
perhaps playing them quickly. Yeah. So the summer games done quick raised $1.3 million for charities this season.
That's fantastic.
Impressive.
I agree. It was pretty good.
Apparently, did you guys see the what was it? It was a video of Jimmy Fallon, I think, racing against a guy who was speedrunning Super Mario Brothers 3, who was also racing against a men's 10-lap tag team relay race, whatever you call it. As the host of the show made and consumed a hot pocket.
Nope.
It was a race to see who would do the first thing first.
I did not.
Would Hot
see
Pocket
that.
get eaten, or would Super Mario Brothers get beat, or would the relay team complete their relay? It's quite fascinating,
It is-
quite funny.
It is interesting.
You High
Hey,
School
so-
Musical reference?
So we talked about Batman Return to Arkham being basically put on the shelf indefinitely until some bugs got worked out. Well, there's rumors that it might be coming out in November now.
Bugs and all, or actually completed?
Bugs and all. Bugs and all.
We're gonna assume bugs and all based on what happened with
Is it the
Arkham Knight.
director's cut, raw, vegan, unedited edition?
Very possibly, very possibly.
Will it be the Founders Edition?
I
There it
have
is. Will it be
absolutely
Return to Arkham, the Founders
100% guarantee that will be definitely
I mean-
what it is.
See, there's all sorts of things like this stuff, like Batman Return to Arkham. If you really like the other games, go ahead and buy it. And I would wait, but I would not pre-order
Don't pre-order and don't day
anything.
one buy it.
and don't day one buy anything like that. Like, there's just no reason to. Wait for the reviews to come out. See if it's broken, particularly on your system, because it might not be broken on console, but PC
Legends
could be a
thing.
shit show.
My prediction, August of 2017.
Oh, I thought you were gonna say it's coming out early, but more broken.
No.
No,
No.
later, still broken.
Later, still broken,
Yep,
and just
I'm
shoved
calling
out.
that one.
Hey,
I
so
will-
speaking
I
of
will
something
second
that's
that
going to be
admission.
just shoved out that might be broken but might not be, who knows?
Buying it.
No
Buy
Man's Sky has
Buy
finally
it.
gone Grandmaster Gold Edition, Platinum Super
Yes.
Printed Edition.
It's going.
The
So
die
it
has
is
been
going
cast,
to
the
come
disc has been
out
sealed.
August 8th, come bugs and all.
Buying it.
It's coming out regardless of whether it's finished or not.
Oh, I'm so buying this. First, I need to upgrade my system. Well, I'll probably still buy it, and then I'll upgrade my system after. That
Probably should
1060
upgrade
is
my
totally
system.
out of my...
Buying it.
I mean, I might as well get a license key now. But,
So,
yeah, no, definitely buying it.
So the disc version of that game is gonna come in at 6 gigs, which is surprising since it has like what 18 million worlds or something like that.
Well,
universes?
it's simply a question of math. How
Yeah,
many math
very true.
Equations can you store on a disk?
And they
Um,
apparently are also already working on the next update to the game,
More power to them. They
which
need
makes
the
sense
momentum.
because it's probably going to be a day one patch for all the things that broke in that came out in the testing that they realized were broken, and they were like, "Well,
I
we
mean-
can't delay it anymore." So here you go, day one patch, and it's going to be like a 6 gig day one patch.
It's
I'm okay with
math,
that,
man.
buying
It's
it.
all math, and I'm totally cool with that because it
calling
means
this
that we
one.
finally have a deadline.
Yeah,
Like,
exactly. The game
they have to
finally
have
released.
something.
It's not going to be like the Mighty Number 9 that released 2 years late, and then it was a pretty meh game after it came out.
Mhm. I would rather have something give me a hard deadline and just fix it in post than like just say it'll come out in fall.
I'm okay with that, and I'm also okay with company going, it's gonna, whoop, we don't have a date, we're making it, or going, all right, 2 years from now, and sticking to it. That's fine. If you need the time and you know you need the time, fine.
the big thing I think is we need honesty from companies, and what we as gamers have really felt is that we have these companies that make these huge big promises, and when they don't follow through, we just don't trust them anymore.
Right.
Fact.
Like that's the huge issue that I think I'm personally at least suffering is like, I mean, you're making all these great claims of amazing games, and when you don't deliver, I don't trust you the next time you tell me you need an extra 6 months.
Yeah.
You know.
Yep. Hey, so Jeff, you were talking about needing to upgrade your computer for No Man's Skies. Do you want a 4 terabyte SSD for your computer?
No.
Why not? Hold on. How much do you think it costs?
I'm gonna say it is a $799 SSD.
Okay, so you're pricing this at, what is that, 20 cents a gig? Yeah. Okay.
Thereabouts.
Thereabouts. It's a little more, or a little less.
Can I say circa? Can we make this like history class?
$1,500.
Yeah, I don't know what that means, but yeah, it's $1,500 for this.
It's literally more expensive than when I paid for my Mac back in 2011.
yeah, that's a whole computer in one part.
I would burn out the read-write cycles before I would fill up the disk.
Probably. I mean, if you think about it, though, like, what is it? It's an SSD, right? So you're talking something that was like 50 cents a gig not too long ago, and it's what? 30 cents a gig?
I mean, I remember when...
It's a good price drop, actually.
I remember when 2.5-inch spinning media drives, not too long ago, were $1 a gig.
Yeah.
Like, that is within less than a decade? A little bit more than a decade? Andy, you stopped!
Yeah, I did stop. I ran into the guardrail.
And I ran into you and the guardrail. Nope, now I ran into the guardrail.
Sounds like
I mean, it's a good
problem
thing.
exists
Tech's
between
advancing.
But yeah, I mean, it's cool. We've seen this before. I'm more interested in hybrid drives myself, but I also like having a dual drive system because when my C drive crashed, what was it, a couple of months ago, my C drive just completely bellied up, and I was able to format it, reinstall Windows, grabbed all my programs, they were all still there. But hey, you never know, an upgrade could be in the future.
Yeah.
Maybe
One
just
full
not 4
terabyte
terabytes.
SSD coming right at you. But I mean, realistically, here's the thing with it. It means that we're also getting the capacities in drives.
It means we'll be getting cheaper 512, 1 terabyte, and 2 terabyte SSDs.
Exactly.
Correct.
Which for people like Razer's Blade 14-inch laptop or other gaming thin and light notebooks that have the nice like 970 and 980Ms on board, it's great.
Well, and even people who just want to be able to have more storage on their SSD and be able to do more
Oh my goodness,
things
yes.
on the
For
SSD.
video editors and people who shoot in RAW and 4K formats, this is awesome.
Exactly.
Because you have that great hot swappable SATA bus on your editing rig. And you just pop it in. Good to go. No more tape drives for the win.
Well, that is all we have for today. I hope you enjoyed this episode of the American Truck Podcast. Make sure you go and, spend your hard-earned cash here on the 4 terabyte SSD. You know you want one. But if you like this video, make sure you hit the like button. And if you didn't, you can hit the downvote button, and I don't really care. But we will see you guys next week.